Hi, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday. Believe it or not, every time I come live, I'm still very nervous. I'm still very scared. Okay, today I want to quickly talk about how to help your autistic child to be less noisy because they get really, really loud and they are the first to tell you that you are loud when you're loud. But when they are loud, they don't know that they're loud. So today I'm able to give you some tips on how to help them to quiet down their voices. Well, first of all, it's important to note that when an autistic person is being loud, they usually don't even know that they're being loud, just because, well, one of the reasons is because they can't really tell. They just cannot tell that they're loud, even though they're loud. And another reason is because they don't know the pitch to use in different settings, right? So, for instance, you know that when you go to the library, you're supposed to use a lower pitch and all of that. For an autistic person, they probably don't know that. So that's something that, even though it comes naturally to normal children, it will not come naturally to an autistic kid. It's something that you have to teach them over and over. And with autistic children, you guys, of course, by now, anyone watching me should know that an autistic child, there's certain things you have to teach them that you don't particularly need to teach your neurotypical children, but it just comes with the territory, right? Like you have to teach it to them. So one of the reasons why they would be loud is because they don't know that they don't know the right settings. Like, okay, this is a setting where you can't be loud and all of that. But another reason is because they don't even know that they are being loud. Yeah. So I just want to quickly share some tips on how to get them to lower their voices. Like with Williams, we had to do some therapy to teach him how to whisper, for instance, because he didn't even know how to whisper. So we would model whispering to him and he would try to whisper. It took a while for him to get to that pitch where he was actually whispering because he would talk normal and say, I'm whispering. No, you're not. Okay. Hey, Uncle Victor. Thank you for coming live. so so he would say, I'm whispering. No, you're not whispering. So it took a while for him to even understand, how to lower his pitch to the point of whispering. And it took many days of therapy. So I'll just say be patient with your child when you use up these tips that I'm about to share. So number one, I like the idea of role play, right? I like role playing at home. I call it drama. Like my kids they think that they're actors, but they're terrible at it. But I would say, let's pretend you're at a birthday party. How would you talk to someone? That kind of thing. So those kind of role plays, when you say, oh, let's pretend we're at a library and we're supposed to be quiet at a library, or when you want to talk to me at a library, how do you think you should talk to me? Because other people are reading and all of that. So we're all pretending here. It's role playing, and then he tries to do it. So we model to him how to lower the voice and all of that. And again, this is going to take a lot of practice and a lot of repetition, but over time they're going to get it. William still doesn't get it. Sometimes he's screaming at me and he's saying, I'm not screaming, mommy. He yells at me and I'm like, Williams, you're being disrespectful. You're yelling at me. But I didn't yell. I was just talking. No, you were yelling. Okay. So it's going to take a while for them to get there, but it helps when you start using these tips, right, with your child. It really does help. So at least they know that, okay, this voice I'm using is probably not appropriate. Because if you don't teach them, then they won't know. They'll just carry on with their lives and continue to be that way. And it could get irritating sometimes when they're in public, right? Especially with people that don't know them. So I posted a video. It was a short video about Williams telling us that we were noisy at home and we needed to stop talking to each other when his uncles were here. So he said, "You three, stop talking to each other. You guys are loud." Because I'm always like, Williams, you like the sound of your own voice. You just want to hear your own voice. You don't want to hear anybody else's voice. You just want to hear your own voice. But someone sent in a comment on that reel, and she's an autistic adult, and I loved her comments. It gave me, like an insight of what's going on in their brain. And not all autistic person is the same, but I kind of like what she said, and it made a lot of sense, and it made me it gave me an insight to what was going on. So I thought to read this to you guys. Maybe there's a parent out there that this will bless, and maybe it will give you an idea of what's going on with your child, and it would make you understand your child a lot better. So she says, I'm like this. I see you wondering why, and I can't speak for any other autistic person, but I can try to explain my own experience. So I can't really tell how loud I'm being when I get excited. I just escalate based on my level of excitement, up or down, if that makes sense. On the other side, I also hit sensory overload very quickly, almost like at the flip of a switch. So all at once, other people's noise ends up being excruciating to me, and I want everyone to quiet down immediately. As I got older, I learned that my sensory overload issues were mine to deal with, and it wasn't fair to ask others to change what they are doing because I suddenly don't like it. So now I just remove myself from the situation. The only time these days that I'll ask is if I can't remove myself. And I try to explain I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed. Can we quiet down for a few minutes so my senses can reset? Well, that was just profound to me. Like, they need time for their senses to reset. So, the reason why I share these things is because especially African parents, we tend to think that when your autistic child is having that sensory overload and so it's causing a meltdown, we tend to think that they're being naughty or being stubborn. So I think it helps to kind of know where they're coming from. So it would help you to relate with them better, or help to give them what they need to shield them from whatever overload that they're getting. So she says, so as I got older, blah 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 blah, I removed myself from the situation. Okay, so reset. Okay, good. Which goes over better than yelling at everyone for being noisy? Of course it does. So I explained one time, we were at a party, and everyone was dancing. Williams loves to go to parties, so I thought he was having fun. Everyone was dancing on the dance floor and all of that. Williams was all over the place. The next thing, I see my son talking to the DJ, not just talking, but yelling. But I couldn't hear him yell because the music was loud, right? So I saw him doing like this to the DJ. So I run over there and I'm like, what is going on? And I hear him screaming, turn it down. It's too loud. It's too loud. Turn it down. So I picked up my son and I apologized to the DJ and I took him outside. I'm like, what is going on, Williams? Why are you yelling at the DJ? He's like, the music is too loud. I told him to turn it down. He wasn't listening. It's too loud. I'm like, Williams, this is a party. You can't, he can't turn down the music just because it's too loud for you. I know you're feeling overstimulated right now. We can stay outside for a bit. Luckily, there was a park outside, so he could play outside. I'm like, you can play in the park for a bit, or we can go home. Or you can play outside for a bit, and then if you feel better and you feel like you're ready to go back inside the party, then we can go back inside the party. So I gave him those two options because I know he likes parties and I knew he wasn't going to choose to go home. So I gave him those two options. I'm like, do you want to go home or do you want to play outside for a bit until you're fine? So I guess what I was doing was resetting his brain. That's what I was doing. I didn't even know that was what I was doing, but that's what happened. So we were outside for a bit. He played in the park for a bit, and then he said he was ready to go back into the party, and we went back into the party, and he was fine. So that's what happened. He took time to reset his brain. Oh, sorry. Sorry. I'm trying to read the message. I'm trying to finish the message the comments, sorry, that she put down because I thought it was really good. Okay, so she says, I also try to be conscious of my volume these days, but it's still hard for me at 34. So those of you with little kids, don't give up hope. Okay, she's 34. She's still trying to check her volume when she's talking. It's just something that they will have to deal with probably for the rest of their lives. Okay, so we have to give them grace while we teach them, and we just have to be patient. Okay, so sometimes they're not doing it on purpose. They don't mean to yell on purpose. They don't mean to scream on purpose. Sometimes they just don't know their volume. So she said, should be wildly impressed if Wells can do it at his little age. Exactly. And then yeah, thank you for sharing the video. She loves watching us. Thank you so much, Zenith Word. This comment was from Zenith Word. Thank you for sharing this. It helps a lot. You were asking if it helped. this really, really helps. It gave me an insight to what is going on in William's brain, when he's screaming and when he doesn't want to hear other people talk. Because when other people are talking, sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes it just all comes to him and it's too much. It's just overloading him. And then he needs to reset his brain, like you said, so let's try to be more patient with our autistic children. This is just an insight to what's going on in their brain when they're talking loud. And like I said, those tips that might help them learn to reduce their own voices. You could use those tips too, which is to role play and tell them what kind of voice is best for what kind of place or venue, like a restaurant, a library. How do we talk outside? Just role play those things for them and have them repeat the same pitch that you think is the right pitch for those areas, and then just go from there. Well, I hope this blessed someone, and as usual, they're going to kill me if they don't say hi. So I'm going to call them, say hi. Everyone that watched live, I'm so happy you did. Thank you so much for coming on to watch us live. And if you're watching on replay, just say #replay and let me know if this was meaningful, if this blessed you in any way. Thank you, Uncle Victor, for joining us. And so hold on, let me call them. Williams, Zita, run! Get over here right now. Because it's quite comprehensive, is it? Because I was like, I need to do this quickly because I'm going to church. I don't want to be late. So so I don't know if I said enough, but I hope I said something. Hey, say good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And the reason why I'm late is because this young woman
What?
made me stretch her hair this morning. You made me stretch your hair this morning. So that's why I'm late. Anyway.
Yeah.
So we're going to go to church. All right. Thank you guys for watching. Mama, go ahead and end the broadcast.
Okay.
Do you
Go
want
ahead
to
and
go?
end it.
That
Zita!
And if you want more Zita Mama, click
I'm not
comment
asking.
down below.
Two
Where is it?
over here.
Click the link down below. Bye, and make sure to
Move.
subscribe to my channel and not to subscribe to this